Hello and welcome to the Real News Radio, your weekly broadcast where we discuss current events, politics, and the failure of our government to represent any semblance of we the people. We want to start this hour. We have been covering the swine flu pandemic. World Health Organization's got us at level 6. It's a very bizarre story if you follow it with what's actually going on. We want to cover a lot of the news that has transpired this past week because it has been in the news very much this week. And to start with, Natural Solutions Foundation, July 9, 2009. Right to self-shield in the event of a pandemic. CDC and the World Health Organization are predicting that the H1N1 swine flu will be back this fall in a new and deadly form. The World Health Organization, after changing the definition to fit current conditions, declared a level 6 pandemic in mid-June 2009. Since the organism appears to have been man-made, this prediction may be one they can make accurately. They also say that a new vaccine will be ready for deployment at the very time when the H1N1 pandemic virus circulates around the globe, and is proposing universal mandatory vaccinations starting with our most vulnerable, the very young and the very old. The White House is proposing vaccinations for both seasonal flu and the H1N1 flu, although the total number of U.S. fatalities to date from H1N1 has reached a total of about 2. State Emergency and Medical Power Act, the Patriot Acts 1, 2, and 3, BARDA, and others provide for mandatory vaccinations or drugging. No exceptions, religious or otherwise, are provided. Those who refuse will be classified as felons at the state level, subject to immediate incarceration and quarantine of indefinite lengths in jail or other facilities reserved for such vaccine refusers. In a frightening big lie propaganda move, those who doubt the effectiveness of unproven, uninsurable vaccines are being called vaccine resistors and are being equated to a new form of terrorist. Those who refuse at the federal level will be subject to immediate incarceration and quarantine for indefinite lengths of times, probably in FEMA camps that have been set up across the United States. Now, while this was being reported this same week, the Miami Herald, July 10, 2009, Florida prepares for huge swine flu shot program. Florida's Surgeon General says the state is preparing for a massive swine flu immunizations, starting with school children, as the Obama administration urges states to prepare for the likelihood that the virus will worsen in the fall. What a crystal ball they have on this virus. They're predicting when it will happen, and they will already have the vaccine prepared for us, as we will see. We may end up averting a crisis. That's our hope, said President Barack Obama, who took time away from the G8 summit in Italy to telephone another summit back home. The 500 state and local health officials meeting to prepare for swine flu's fall threat, which we're going to cover here in just a minute. We want to make sure we aren't promoting panic, but we are promoting vigilance and preparation, Obama said. Kathleen Sebelius, Secretary of Health and Human Services, told the Swine Flu Summit some H1N1 vaccine should be ready by mid-October. So, as this is going on, MSNBC this very week reports U.S. pledges $8.5 billion for fall swine flu shots. Vaccinations against the flying flu are likely and probably will begin in mid-October, reports MSNBC. The government will fully pay for any autumn vaccination program against the new H1N1 swine flu, Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius said on Thursday. We have already appropriated about $1 billion to buy the bulk ingredients, Sebelius told a swine flu summit of state and local leaders at the National Institutes of Health. She said another $7.5 billion was available from the emergency preparedness funds. President Barack Obama telephoned all the way from Italy telling the meeting of the 500 flu officials not to promote panic, but make sure we are prepared. So as we're reporting more of the news that happened this past week on the H1N1 flu, on July 2nd, Obama's office of the press secretary posted a press release on the White House website. It announced an all-day H1N1 flu preparedness summit to further prepare this nation for the possibility of a more severe outbreak of H1N1 flu. The announced summit is to be held today at the Nature Conference Center at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano, Education Secretary Orrin Duncan, and Homeland Security Advisor John Brennan are hosting the summit. Brian, would you say that about got them all? Plus, it's 500 other different organizations that they had there preparing for the fall vaccinations. I mean, the handwriting's on the wall. They are getting prepared for a mass mandatory vaccination. And as we were covering this came out this week from the White House Media Affairs Office. North Carolina eligible to receive $10,194,394 for H1N1 seasonal flu preparedness efforts. So they're sending each state millions of dollars. They've got $8.5 billion to spend to prepare for mandatory vaccinations. And as we just saw, the Miami Herald already reporting that they're getting ready to implement it in the school system as soon as the school year starts.
And just like you said, some kind of crystal ball to precisely know exactly what's going to happen, and problem, reaction, solution. We just keep going back to it again and again and again. I mean, just like the economic crisis, 9/11, they always know exactly how to prepare, what to do, and how to implement changes after the fact, of course, always reduce our rights, our privileges, our Constitution.
And God only knows what will be in this vaccine. We know mercury will be in it. That's always a prime ingredient. But here, someone in a lab is preparing this vaccine for a flu that now resists Tamiflu. How beautiful for that, for them, for that. Now that doesn't work. So now we are wholly suspect to whatever they're creating in a lab that they are going to have prepared for us just at the time they say this thing is going to break. If it looks fishy and it smells fishy for long, you know, you've got a hold of a fish. I think it's fishy.
And we also, I mean, it's just propaganda. You see how that actor from Harry Potter got the swine flu? They played that way up.
No, I did not.
You didn't see that?
No,
yeah.
He's had the swine flu. But yeah. I don't know anyone personally. I've not met anyone that's had the swine flu. We just reported 2 deaths. It seems to be a mild flu, and even the news media now is not covering it or hyping it that much.
I've said that there's probably people that have had it that didn't even know it.
They say that the ones that's had it, it's like a mild cold, medium cold, but yet at the same time, we're, of all places, Baxter Pharmaceuticals is preparing a mass inoculation for the population of America. Will the people go get it? Will they, you know, they get mad when they don't get their flu shot. Will they march down and get it? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, and if it is mandatory, I mean, how are they going to monitor that? Is that going to be part of the new health care?
Well, Jim made a great point. If they nationalize health care, and you're under a nationalized health care program, and they say it's a mandatory inoculation, you know, they did a census. They're doing a census this year on an odd year, you know, not the normal year. Maybe it's all by design, so they know who gets the shot and who didn't. It seems like a lot of variables are coincidentally coming together.
Absolutely, and it's, again, just coincidence after coincidence. I mean, how many coincidences are there, folks? And
with 2 dead in the United States, I know it's way worse, as we reported, it's way worse in the Canada, Mexico, United States than maybe in other countries. And we had read the report where the Russian scientists were saying it was related to genetically modified potatoes. But it is like they have a crystal ball, they have a window, they're picking the time that it's going to happen, they're going to have everything in place, and the Baxter Pharmaceuticals is being paid right now to make the vaccines that they're going to mandatory make you take come this fall. School children in school, can parents reject it? I don't know. According to this Patriot Act, they have the right to give you a shot whether you like it or not at gunpoint.
Well, arguably, they have a right to do pretty much anything, given all the legislation that's gone through with the Patriot Act.
All right, we will be back in